Okay, we are live. What's up, everybody? I'm just going to wait 1 second till I pop up over here so I can make sure we have sound. Okay, we are live. Yay. What's up, everybody? Okay, happy team call Tuesday. Oh my gosh, last Tuesday of May, such a crazy month, especially for me. What a whirlwind of life things have happened. But we've had kind of a crazy month in the Beachbody world too, with the launch of 2B Mindset, and then also the upcoming launch of Lift 4. So we have a lot of exciting things happening. 2B Mindset, I talked about in our team page a little bit over the last couple of days. I am personally running a 2B Mindset group in our team-wide challenge group. I'm going to be talking about the program and focused on nutrition a little bit more over there. However, I am not an expert on talking about it on my social media, and my coach, Emily Power, has been amazing at talking to people about 2B Mindset, but talking about it in a way that's really understandable and attractive to people. She's going to talk to you guys tonight about how she presents it on her social media, full of like tips and tricks for Insta stories, for Instagram, how she gets people interested, and then how she talks to people about the program. And I know she's running a successful 2B Mindset group right now. I am super excited to listen to this because I have been kind of talking about the program a little bit, but also like confused on how to talk about the program a little bit. So if you guys are kind of newer to Instagram or newer to the program or newer to how you talk to people on social media about our programs and make it less confusing and more intriguing, while still creating that curiosity to get them to message you, get out a notebook, get out a pen and paper, and listen to Em because she is going to talk to you guys about it. Okay, Emily, whenever you are ready, you can go ahead. I'm going to present you.
Okay.
Tell me if you can see your face.
Yeah, I can see my face now.
Okay, yay.
Okay, I'm going to screen share immediately so that I don't get squirrely. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so can I just make this? I don't want to present it.
Oh, pretty.
Let's make it. Okay, we're going to just have to do this. So, okay, so I'm like super excited to talk to you guys about 2B Mindset, how I use it. I'm going to apologize in advance because I don't have a ton of tips on how to talk about it on Facebook because I don't really run a ton of my business over there anymore. I'm focused a ton more on Instagram, Insta stories, and now I've been blogging a lot more. So those are my focuses. So that's where I'm going to kind of like gear a lot of my advice, my tips, my tricks, all of that stuff. But one thing that I will say is just over the last month since 2B Mindset has launched, I have had way more conversations, way more people that I'm able to help. And I actually find it a lot easier to create a conversation with people. And I'm actually having more fun in my own journey because I'm experimenting with 2B Mindset in and of itself. So I have a whole bunch of screenshots kind of to show you guys different things that you can do. So first and foremost, when you're sharing on any platform, make sure that your pictures are going to tell a story. Okay. So I have focused a ton. Okay. Actually, let's like sidetrack a little bit. So for anybody that doesn't know who I am or what I am, if you just look at that picture on the side, on the right-hand side, I guess, you'll automatically see one that my Instagram handle is Fit Little Donut. And right in the middle of that screen is a donut. And then that has kind of become part of my brand. It's actually something that I get tagged in a lot. People tag me in donut recipes, donut memes. It's by far the weirdest thing ever, but it works and it has branded my business. But one of the reasons why that's branded my business is because I've lost 100 pounds with our programs, and I'm not willing to give up my favorite things. I'm not willing to give up my treats. I'm not willing to give up and sacrifice flavor. I'm not willing to do any of those things because who wants to live like that? And that's kind of what 2B Mindset is all about. It's all about, really focusing in on, creating a lifestyle, creating balance, not giving up the things that you like. And so by sharing donuts or by sharing different like meals out or whatever, it starts to be relatable. People then think, okay, well, if you're getting results and this is what you're eating and these are the things that you're doing, then it's going to be easier for you to continue to get results and something that they're actually going to stick to. Because if they're in this place where they feel like, okay, well, I'm going to eat is like salad, then nobody's going to want to do it. So you have to make it fun. You have to make it bright. You have to, include in all of this your lifestyle, because that's what Alana preaches most out of everything is, obviously it's water first, veggies most, but it's about having a lifestyle. It's not about saying no to everything. It's not about restricting yourself. It's not about cutting out certain things or never eating whatever or not going to parties or whatever. And like that has been a huge thing because I get people all the time now, especially in the last couple of weeks, that are like, okay, well, I don't understand how you can still get these results, but you're eating this. Like, are you actually eating this? And for anyone that's wondering, yes, I actually do eat the donuts because I can't live without them. So I post, like that picture on the left-hand side, us out to lunch. Yeah, I got lettuce wraps and chicken, and it's a healthy option when you're out to eat. But like a couple of days before that, I also got donuts. So I'm showing people without like shoving the program down their throat or anything. I'm like, this is what's happening. This is what I'm eating. And people get excited about it. So make sure that you're utilizing like the nutrition side of things, because that's what this entire program is about. It's about mindset. It's about nutrition. And by showing people recipes or how to eat out or treats and fun things that you have, you're creating that lifestyle for them and they're going to feel like it's feasible. A lot of times, a lot of our challengers feel like they can't stick to it because it's too complicated or they have to restrict too many things or whatever. And nobody wants to do that. So make sure that your pictures are bright. Make sure that you're sharing food pictures, even if it's not your favorite thing, even if it's not, something that you might be good at right now. Start playing around with it because it's going to be huge when it comes to sharing about To Be Mindset. The other thing is I post more on Instagram stories than I do anywhere else. And if you're not doing that, you're kind of like missing the ball, because you can get a ton of engagement on Instagram stories by using hashtags, by using locations. It doesn't have to be your location. I actually never use like my personal like town's location ever, because I don't want people to know where I live. And I live in a small town, so who the heck cares about like the 20,000 people that live in my town? It's better to use like major cities or major points throughout North America or the UK to get people to see your Insta stories. So make sure that you're using hashtags. And by the way, little tip, just because you can only like when you swipe up on an Insta story to add a hashtag, you can actually add more than one hashtag just by like adding text with a hashtag in front of it. It'll still show up in those like hashtag Insta stories. So you can use more than one hashtag. And that actually will draw a ton more market and audience to your Insta story if you have, not just like hashtag To Be Mindset, for example, or fitness or meal prepping or whatever. If you have more than one, it's going to draw people from all over the place. But make sure that you're sharing actual results. Like you're showing people what this program can do. If you're not in Alana's coach test group for To Be Mindset, then you're going to miss out on a lot of things that are in there, because the things that are in there, a lot of times you can share and use to benefit your business. So I shared that picture, the transformation from November to I think that's March, using To Be Mindset. I screenshotted one of the like conversation threads or post threads that were in the group, and I blocked out everybody's names. But it shows like, somebody was down 10.2 pounds and somebody else was down 6 pounds. So people are able to see that it's not just me making it up. It's not just fluff. Like it's actually working. And it makes it easier for people to believe you when you're constantly showing authentic results. The other thing, like I said, because I've been blogging, is I share my transformation story on there. I share my struggles. I share all of my recipes on there, and I link them all back to Be Mindset or my challenge group application. But I also wrote an entire blog on To Be Mindset. So when somebody has a question about it or they want to know more or whatever, I can send them right to there and it tells them all about it, what it is, without complicating it, because it's not about, like, when you really think about To Be Mindset and you really look at it, a lot of the test group, like the original test group participants always said, like I can't say too much because then you're like giving the program away. But all I've been talking about is creating a balanced lifestyle, being able to get results, but eat your pizza and donuts or have your wine or whatever and still get results. You're not giving up one for the other. You're having and creating this lifestyle. I mean, if you want to be strict 80-day obsession, time nutrition, like chicken and broccoli kind of person, then by all means do that. But like I would say 95% of the population doesn't want that. They want to have a balanced lifestyle where they feel good, they have energy, they're healthy, they're able to lose weight in pant sizes, they're able to feel good in their clothes while still being able to go to summer barbecues or weddings or get-togethers or out, for their anniversary or out with their kids for ice cream. Like they don't want to have to feel like they have to say no or they have to feel guilty or whatever. It's about changing their mindset. So I don't make it complicated. I literally just talk about getting rid of that diet mentality. I talk a lot about, this culture that we live in about restriction. Like I can't think of any like diet out there or any conversation that I've ever had with like any woman in my family where it's not like, oh, well, you need to get rid of this or you can't eat this or I can't have this, or every time it's a holiday, somebody else is on a different kind of diet. Like it's disgusting, really. So I talk a lot about that and it's really relatable to a lot of people. I will say too, because I've lost 100 pounds, I have a lot of followers. A lot of my audience are people that have a lot of weight to lose, or they are, they've had babies or they're going to have babies, or they had kids a really long time ago, or they're going through menopause or whatever it is. And they're having a hard time losing that weight. And they can relate to the fact that I've lost that weight. Well, you don't just lose that weight and then keep it off by going back to old habits. Nutrition is key. So I talk a lot about nutrition. I share a lot of food. I share a lot of like fun things because again, nobody wants it to be boring. So again, this is all Insta stories. I shared a screenshot of, again, results. People talking about, their kids and not wanting them to grow up with bad eating habits because you start them young, it's going to be a lot easier. And that's something that like I preach all the time because I have 3 girls. I suffered with an eating disorder for a long, long time. And I don't want my kids to be in that place. So we talk a lot about, that there isn't good food and bad food, that it's, having our treats in moderation, that it's okay to go and have ice cream, that it's okay to have all of these things, but it's really important that we eat our veggies and that it's really important that we drink water. Like I don't keep juice in my house because they don't need it. There are things that we just don't need. So again, that appeals to my market. So I share those things. Again, the donut thing. If it works, go with it. So I do. I made, I think it was last weekend or 2 weekends ago. I can't remember, all the days meshed together. But I made these homemade gluten-free breakfast donuts. Basically, it was gluten-free pancake mix that I had made, and I have a donut tray, like a muffin tray. So I was like, I'll just make these. And I put peanut butter on them and then put like chocolate sprinkles on top and was like, oh, I could take a picture of this. So I shared it and I got so many people that were like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. Like this is something that's allowed on your diet. And then I have to correct people, which is good because it creates conversation, that I'm not on a diet. I live a lifestyle that I have created for myself. And I've used To Be Mindset, which I never refer to as To Be Mindset. I always refer to it as our nutrition course because that's what it is. It's like any other course that you would take. It's a video series. There's really nothing physical to it aside from having a tracker and having the water bottle. It's a nutrition course. Like to its core, it is a course that you take that helps you change your mindset. It gives you recipes. It changes the way that you look at food. It teaches you about nutrition. And so I always refer to it as our newest nutrition course, or, we're going to be going over this nutrition course in our upcoming group or whatever it is. I always refer to it as that. So when people are talking about, oh, like that's included in your diet, I'm always like, no, like this is just how I eat. And thanks to the nutrition course that actually just launched this month, I've been able to really learn a lot, because it's always really beneficial to add to your knowledge. So that's a really good thing to do as well. Like it's not, life is ever changing. Our bodies are ever changing. So it's really important to like make it like, it's not a one and done. Nothing is a one and done. 21-day fix wasn't made so that you just do days 1 to 21 and then you stop. It's a lifetime. So it should be made into a lifestyle. So 2B Mindset lets you do that. Again, on the right-hand side, which this is actually one of my favorite things, and I never had it before 2B Mindset, is turnip fries. Never thought to eat it. Didn't even know what to do with the turnip. But my kids love them. I don't tell them that they're turnips, because if you tell a kid that it's a vegetable, for some reason, it is all of a sudden gross, despite the fact that they just ate 5 pounds of it. But I, showed them that that's what I was eating, that I was eating a burger, which is on an open-faced bun, actually, which is a gluten-free bun because I am gluten-free. But I talk about that. The turnip fries I just made in olive oil. Sometimes I make it in the leftover bacon grease, whatever it is. And then I share that so that people think and say, okay, well, one, that looks like French fries and a burger, but it's not. It is, but it's healthier for you. You can eat a ton of it without really thinking twice about it. And it creates conversation, because then people want the recipe. Because I don't think I actually have a picture of it, but being Canadian, we eat poutine. If you've never had poutine, if you're like, that's totally a Canadian stereotypical thing, it is. It's delicious. It's one of our favorite things. And for my husband and I, we used to eat it a lot, but it's obviously not that good to eat potatoes and French fries all the time. So I stopped eating it because it's not that good for you. But as soon as I was like, oh, I'm going to try this with turnip fries, I've gotten a ton of people that have then gone to my blog, because I put the recipe for the turnip fry poutine up on my blog. And then I get a ton of people that ask me questions about it, because it's interesting to them that I can eat this like huge heaping serving of poutine and it be, in quotations, allowed or good for me, because it's just vegetables. So again, experiment with your food, experiment with the different veggies. Alana talks a lot about using different veggies as bases and how you can use them. And you can use that to your advantage when it comes to posting about it or creating interest or sharing or anything. Because if you're not saying, oh, well, this is 2B Mindset or whatever, and you're literally just saying, this is what I had, sharing the recipe, going live, whatever it might be, you're going to create interest. People are going to then start following you for your recipes. I actually got a message the other day of a woman who said, oh, I followed you for so long. I love seeing the different recipes that you share on Insta stories. And now with Insta stories, you can actually have like your highlights. So I have a highlight that is F diets or whatever. And in there, I include, I'll highlight a whole bunch of the different foods that I eat. So this picture, the lunch photo of the turnip fries and a burger, I didn't do this, but generally on some of the things that I will eat, I'll put all the ingredients that I used, the different things that are on my plate, so that if somebody wants to recreate that, they can. And I just keep that up on my Insta stories in the highlights, because people love free. And if you're willing to give people different recipe ideas, or you're willing to give them tips and tricks, they're going to trust you more. They're going to come back to you. They're going to ask you questions. You're going to create a relationship, and that's going to be beneficial for you, for your business, and the connection that you're going to make with a future challenger, a future coach, or whatever. But they're going to trust you opposed to somebody else who's keeping everything a secret. So that I love. Now, when it comes to sharing meets inviting, polls are like my favoriteest thing that ever happened. I don't even know if favoriteest is a word, but it is now. But when To Be Mindset was like before it launched, and I do this a lot, but these 3 photos are actually from just before it launched. And I talked about like actually like me talking to the camera about my battle with emotional eating and stress eating and anxiety and all of that stuff. But then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to run these polls and see what people say. And so if you've never done a poll on Instagram, I suggest that you do, because it creates a lot of interaction, and it could be about anything. If it's going to be about, fitness or a challenge group or a struggle or whatever, try to make it like, I don't know if you can tell, but both of the options in every one of these is the same. Like, I'm not giving them the ability to say no. So do you hate working out but want to hit your goals? A lot of people hate working out. I mean, I hate working out, but I also love working out. Like, I love how I feel afterwards. So a lot of people are going to say yes, but if you give them the option to say no, you're going to get those like annoying people that just say no just to say no. Are you an emotional eater? I can guarantee that like probably 80+% of people are emotional eaters, because that's what our society is. More than of people are going to struggle with nutrition because they don't know where to start. There's too many like things out there. There's too many conflicting opinions, and people just don't know where to start, where to go, what to eat, how much to eat. They get confused. So with all 3 of these questions, people participate in the poll, and then I'm able to then reach out to them, and I will either send them a message. For To Be Mindset, I actually ran a sneak peek into what To Be Mindset was. So I would then reach out to all of those people, and you can send 15-second like Insta story videos to people. So I do that instead of writing out like an invite or writing out whatever. I try really hard. Granted, I have 3 kids and my life is chaotic, so it's not always perfect. I don't always do this, but I try the majority of the time to send 15-second videos of me reaching out to that person saying, thank you so much for participating in that poll. You're not alone in feeling whatever way, or I loved hearing your goals, or whatever it is. But I have this group coming up. I'd love to add you into it. It's totally free. All about our new nutrition course. Here's the link if you want to be added. And then in the next thing, I send the link to the Facebook group. They can add themselves. It takes the pressure off of them, but they can also see my face. They can see how I come across. They know that I'm real. They know that I'm not like being spammy, because it's me actually talking to them. And that goes over really, really well. So polls are fantastic, and I use them in absolutely everything. If it is challenge group related, if it's coach related, if it's parenthood related, anything and everything I use it for. So use the polls to create interaction, because everybody wants to give you their opinion. Everybody wants to participate. It's a great way to up interaction. It's a great way to start a conversation, because they have interacted with you kind of first. Like, they've done something, and then it makes it way easier for you to then reach out to a cold market person. And again, if you're using hashtags and you're using the locations, you're going to then show up to other people outside of your current following. You're going to be able to increase your own following, but you're going to be able to then get people that are participating in the poll that didn't follow you, or even don't follow you, that you can then reach out to and create a relationship with. So I definitely recommend doing that, and ask basic questions that have to do with nutrition. Everybody in some way, shape, or form struggles with nutrition. So even if it's not them, if they're, like rock solid, really great with nutrition, but maybe their kids struggle with nutrition, maybe their kids are picky eaters or whatever, they could benefit from this. And they might not know how to help their kids. So you can then start a conversation, and maybe you're not directly helping this mom or this dad, but you are helping them, because you're going to give them the tools that help them help their kids. Okay. So definitely utilize polls. It's one way that I like really share about the nutrition. It's the way that I share about To Be Mindset, but it's also one of the ways that I invite. So, here are some, okay, yeah, so I just talked about that. Are you an emotional eater? That's one of the ways that I invite. That is a written thing that I have sent. So like I just said, same thing that I would say in a 15-second video. And then for those that are on Facebook, and I always utilize this, even though I don't run a ton of my business over there, I'll post on Facebook, but it's really just whatever I post on Instagram. It's not really like unique to Facebook. So I have always done this. You can go either on your personal Facebook page or on your business page, and you can create an event, and you can invite, I think it's up to 500 people from your friends list. So you can go through your friends list and invite them to this event. And you can run a sneak peek with it. You can post in there. You can do whatever. But if they say that they're going or they're interested in the event, then you can then reach out to them and talk to them about their goals. You can ask them all kinds of other questions. You can start finding out what kind of fitness they're into, what they struggle with. And again, it's a great conversation starter without you having to jump into somebody's inbox. They have indirectly given you permission to reach out to them because they have responded to that event. So that always drives a ton of traffic up for me when it comes to inviting to any challenge group. But I mean, based on the event that this one was called, because that's how I feel about diets, it drove a lot of interest both on Instagram, on my blog. Well, I guess not both. On all three platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and my blog, because of the title. It was catchy. People were like, what the heck? And they were interested in what I was going to have to say about it. So you also have to remember, too, that a lot of people hear all the time, abs are made in the kitchen. But then they feel like, okay, well, then I'm never going to succeed because I don't know what the hell to do in the kitchen. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to meal prep. I don't know how to make this simple. I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. And so they end up in this place where they don't want to do anything, and then they give up because they get so frustrated. But 2B Mindset solves that. It makes it so easy. And I'm going to give a personal example. I am somebody who my entire childhood, I ate really healthy. My mom was kind of like a health freak, and we ate really healthy. However, my husband was the complete opposite. He grew up where it was fast food, it was frozen stuff, it was chicken fingers and french fries, because his dad was a single dad and he worked like 17 hours a day. So it was really just him and his brother that whatever they could make, they made. They would order pizza all the time. And so as children, they developed all of these food habits, and as they've gotten older, it's been harder to break. And so every time I have been like, hey, like, let's, even the containers, okay? So I know a lot of people have been really unsure of like the switch between, okay, well, I've talked about containers for X number of years. For me, it's been, almost 4. And now all of a sudden we're not doing containers. We're not talking portion control. Everything is like different. But when I use my husband, not as like a test subject, but I guess kind of, the containers always stressed him out. From being somebody who doesn't eat healthy, doesn't like vegetables, it's really hard for him to do all of those things. It was really, really stressful for him to think of changing all of these things and using the containers and trying to figure stuff out and feeling like he had to cut everything out of his meal plan, out of his diet. And he was like, I can't do this. And so he would get really frustrated and wouldn't want to do it. And so then when 2B Mindset was coming up and it was being talked about, I asked him, would you do this with me? And he was kind of like, I don't know, because the whole idea of it made him feel like, well, it's just another thing that I'm going to not follow through with. And when you think about that, that's a lot of the ways that our challengers feel. It's a lot of the ways that our prospective challengers feel. They feel like they're going to fail. They feel like it's going to be too complicated. It's going to overwhelm them. They're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to stick to it. It's going to be a waste of money. And so they just don't do it. But what if we could make it easier? 2B Mindset does that. And so when I sat down and I was like, well, this is what the foundations of 2B Mindset are, he was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, let's try it. And within the first week, he was like, I could actually do this. Like, I don't feel stressed out. I don't feel like I've given up anything. He had lost 7 pounds in like 5 days or 6 days or something. And he felt like he wasn't constantly worried about food. Like he didn't feel like when we went to my in-laws or we went out to dinner or whatever that he was having to be restrictive or he wasn't able to eat the things that he liked, which is how he felt a lot of the other times. And he hated that. So that just goes to show the power of To Be Mindset. It is more of a lifestyle, I would say. And I lost 100 pounds using the container system, but I would 100% stand behind that To Be Mindset is going to be the thing that changes way more lives and is going to be something that people actually stick to, because it does change your mindset. It changes your mindset around food. It changes your mindset around the way that you interact with food, the power that you give food. So I definitely think that there is a lot of power to getting people involved with To Be Mindset, and it opens up your market to people that potentially can't work out or are afraid to work out or aren't there yet. Maybe they have way more weight to lose and they aren't comfortable working out yet, or they're not strong enough to work out or whatever. They can start with nutrition because that's where you need to start anyways. So those are a couple of other ways to invite and a little bit of like my spiel. So these are a few more ways to invite. Obviously, posting your transformation clearly. Okay, that's my 100-pound transformation. That's not from To Be Mindset. But I talk a lot in that description about, saying goodbye to the dieting culture and being able to have your cake and eat it too, and being able to get results and not feel deprived, and how I want to link arms with people that are ready to create a different lifestyle but not feel like they're giving up their life to do it. So use, again, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if it's a blog, if it's whatever it is, use your platform of choice to share your transformation, to really talk about changing your view on nutrition, on food, on all of that stuff, because we all have some kind of struggle or negative story that goes along with food. I haven't talked to anybody in the last almost 4 years that didn't have a struggle with their relationship with food in some way, shape, or form at some point in their life. So that middle photo, that top part where you can see my face, is actually a 15-second video. For some reason, I couldn't save it, so I was going to show you guys. But it's basically what I said. I will send those little clips even to people that have liked my transformation photos, have liked some of my recipe photos, have asked for recipes, people that I have talked to in regards to like nutrition or whatever. And I'll send them a 15-second thing about, hey, like I have this group coming up. I don't know if you're interested, but I totally thought of you because of whatever we talked about. And I would love to give you some more information. Or if you're running a sneak peek into a program or a challenge group or To Be Mindset in particular, then you can say that as well. So that is something that I do. And then if you don't have Linktree in your Instagram, like profile website link thing, whatever the hell it's called, you want to get that because it allows you, instead of just having one link, now you can have as many as you want. So on mine, you can see all of the ones that I have, but I've circled right there, which is what I do in my Insta stories. I will tell them, go fill out the link in my bio, and I'll show them how to find it and exactly what it looks like, because it directs them right there. And then I ask them a whole bunch of questions about their nutrition or their fitness or what their goals are, what their relationship is with food or whatever. So it helps, again, bring people to there. You're inviting them to take a step in the right direction. They make the first move, really, and then you're able to then reach back out to them. So those are some of my other inviting tips. And then this literally is just to like keep me on track, make sure that I'm like talking to you guys about all the right things. But when it comes to running the actual, I guess Carl and Beachbody are calling them success groups. But I'm doing two things. I run a lifelong group. It's like a team-wide group. It's just one big like virtual gym that I have on Facebook that I add everyone into. My team adds everyone into. And I have a whole bunch of like files and stuff in there. So I have that group, but I've also been running a challenge tracker app group specifically for To Be Mindset. So in there, take advantage. Oh my gosh, guys. I am like so jealous that there is now such a thing as scheduling posts, because I can remember my first like couple of years of coaching absolutely hating the fact that I had like mom brain and I had so many other things going on. And I was like, oh shit, it's like 1 PM and I haven't posted in my group yet, because life happens. So to have the scheduling thing before my group starts, or for my lifelong group at the beginning of every month, I sit down and I plan out and schedule the next 30 days in my lifelong group. And then in my challenge group before it starts, on the challenge tracker app, I sit down and I schedule all of my posts. Does that mean that I don't interact within my challenge group during that time? Absolutely not. I post my meals, I post my workouts, I ask how their day is going. In my virtual gym, I will post like funny memes or videos or whatever, because I want it to be fun. I want it to be something that they enjoy. There is a challenge group template for To Be Mindset. So don't feel like you have to go and reinvent the wheel. The challenge group tools are there for a reason. So if you're a new coach, if you don't know where to start, if it just seems like overwhelming to you, then use it. It's there for a reason. Add your own spin to it. Change up the wording if you want. Use the videos that she has. Use the tools that are provided for us, because they're there for a reason. So I took one of my gratitude, I actually combined 3 different templates for this current To Be Mindset group that I'm doing. So I took a gratitude one because I really wanted people to really focus on their like mindset overall, not just when it comes to like their health and nutrition, but like their overall life. So I included some gratitude posts. I included some of the posts from the To Be Mindset back office stuff. And then I also used some of the posts from a clean eating group that I had done. So I've kind of like meshed it all together so that they get, recipes, and they get tips and tricks, and they have the To Be Mindset stuff, but it keeps it so that it's fresh and new and fun. And then something that I have started to do is weekly calls with my one-on-one challengers. So all the girls that I am working with, right now, this is just something that I'm doing individually. Eventually, it'll be something that I open up to my entire team to do with like our like team-wide virtual gym that's run on Facebook. But I'm doing it right now to kind of just like test it out, see how it goes. Is a weekly check-in call. So we all jump on a Zoom. We can go over, recipes, or they can ask questions about meal planning or budgeting, or getting their workout in, or just like talking about successes or things that they feel that they're struggling with, or whatever it is. But it creates a community of challengers, and especially with a nutrition course, it's a learning opportunity. So they're going to have questions. They're going to have things they, want to ask. They're going to want to brainstorm together. They're going to want to, talk about their takeaways. So it's a good time to come together as a group and give people the chance to have the floor and really talk about what they took away from, maybe videos 1 through 6. And then the next week it's, 7 through 13 or whatever. But you're able to then give your challengers the opportunity to share their takeaways. Maybe they're going to come up with like different things, because everybody's going to take away something different. So that's been really good. The other thing that I have done is created these like little pods. So I haven't only done it in my team, like with my coaches, but I actually do it with my challengers as well. So I have a little pod of like my To Be Mindset girls, and we share funny memes in there. We share good morning stuff. We share recipes. I check in with them. They talk about their wins for the day, whatever it is. But again, it's another way to keep them connected. And if there's somebody that doesn't want to post in a Facebook group, or they don't want to post in the app, or whatever it is, I found that having these little like pods and like groups that they can just chat in, for some reason, it just makes them feel a little bit more safe, I think. And so they feel more connected, and it creates more of that community feel, which is what you want. And ultimately, that's going to help create better challengers to coaches, because they're already doing coach things. They're getting on calls. They're, talking in groups. They've made friendships. Like they're gonna, like that's just gonna be like a natural progression. And then the last thing that I do for all of my girls, but I've added an aspect to it, is I use MailChimp. I have an email list on there. It's how I update everybody on everything that's going on. But I have a challenger welcome email that they get, and it talks, there's like videos on there that I have made on how to access everything on Beachbody On Demand, from the workouts, the meal plans, Fixate. I take them through, Autumn's Fixate, like pantry raid and meal prepping, and what other, I don't know what the other foundational videos are right now, but anyway, I take them through, how to access all those foundational videos. I give them a ton of recipes. They get access to a whole bunch of different meal plans. I show them how to access all of those things in our team-wide virtual gym group. And then I've also added on there like a video on how to go through all of the 2B Mindset videos, where to start, how to do it, that they're not that long. They have a way to reach out to me at any point. I include my cell phone number, actually, which has been a huge asset, which I only actually started doing this year. But it's been a huge, huge, huge thing for my business and for my challengers' results, because they reach out to me on a one-on-one basis a lot more. I get a lot of pictures. I get a lot of questions. I get a lot more interaction, and they stick with it a lot longer because they have one-on-one access with me. And I think it feels more personal because it's not just like messaging me on Facebook or messaging me through like an email or something, but they actually feel like they have like direct access to me. Do I just drop my life and answer them at every moment? No, but I answer them when it's like my work time, but they feel more connected. So those are like some of my overall tips, but that's kind of like how I've been running my challenge groups. As for getting people signed up, I don't really, this is like my personal go-to right now. And I feel like, I was actually talking to my husband about this the other day. I feel like this is probably going to be the thing that I'm going to go to all the time. Because like I said, 2B Mindset is a nutrition course. It really teaches the foundational aspects of nutrition. It creates a lifestyle. So I feel like this is just going to be like my go-to thing for everyone, because Beachbody On Demand can help anyone and everyone, because there's something for everyone on there. And then 2B Mindset as a nutrition course can again help everyone. So this bundle with 2B Mindset and Beachbody On Demand is my go-to. It's the thing that I have been recommending to everybody, is the thing that everybody this month that has signed up with. I don't really give them any other option. It's really just this as a coach or this as a challenger. Unless they already have Beachbody On Demand, then it's 2B Mindset. But this is my go-to. It gives them everything. They have all the tools. They have a tracker. They are taught how to track their food. They get Shakeology. They get their water bottle. They get all of the books. They get all of Beachbody On Demand and all the tools that comes with. Whoa. And so that's like my go-to. So that's my suggestion. If you are somebody that's really focusing on nutrition and fitness, but creating more of that like lifestyle and not that like 80-day obsession, time, nutrition, chicken and broccoli kind of, like, if that's not your ideal person, then this probably is creating that lifestyle, helping people shift their mindset. And then I'm not going to play this video, but it's actually up on my YouTube. If you want to go and look for it, it's just under Fit Little Donut. But if you're not using Share a Cart, you need to, because it makes everything way, way easier. In addition to the challenge pack, you can then talk to people about having beach bars on hand. And you can add that to their cart so that they're not getting confused. They're not screwing up at checkout and ending up somewhere else, which I've had happen way too many times. You can add Energize, or you can add Recover, or you can add all of these extra things. If they want a container set just because they want one, then you can add that in on Share a Cart and then send them the email. And if you don't want to wait for them to get the email, there's a copied, like you can copy the shareable link just to send them, just like you would every other link, but this way they can just check out. So that's how I have been tackling all of 2B Mindset. That's how I have been creating interest, creating conversations, all of that fun stuff. So I don't know. Oh, is it still sharing? What is happening?
No, you're good. I can see you.
Oh, I couldn't see me. What the heck? Anyway, so that is all I got for you guys.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Oh gosh, I'm echoing. Hold on one second.
Are you listening to yourself? Is that why?
I'm gonna mute you. Let's see if that, okay. That was so perfect. I loved the first tip you gave about the events on Facebook, how you can put questions up there and utilize the event in more of like a strategic way rather than just I'm making an event and that's how I'm going to invite people to it. Like I loved your tips about that. And also, you know, it's so interesting. This program is coming from you, someone who's lost so much weight from our other program that we've utilized literally for every single program for what, the past, I don't know, 3 years or so. And now you found this secondary nutrition program that we have that's actually completely different from the container system that works really well for you and your family too. The turnip fries, that's so funny because literally when she said turnip fries, I was like, ew, what is a turnip? But now they're delicious, right? But you know, it's really interesting to think about this program in a way that it makes it doable for everyone, which is very relatable, especially to people who are following you on social media. I loved your tips about how you talk to people about it on your Insta stories, just making it very relatable and real. You know, not everybody wants to be a chicken and broccoli kind of gal. And I think that it's very freeing when we talk to people about, hey, there are options and here's how we make it attractive in terms of options. So thank you so much. That was freaking awesome. If you could upload those beautiful slides into the team page, that would be epic. Thank you so much for your time. You are such a good speaker and you explain things so well. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye.